Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. Today, we're flying the Cirrus SR22. We're going from Eagle, Alaska, up northwest to Circle City. Just under 100 miles. It's going to be about a 28-minute flight, not 52 minutes. We'll probably go about 16,000 feet. Climb aboard, let's go flying. So the wind is about 3007 knots. Good visibility. Okay. First things first, let's go ahead and turn the two battery switches on. I'm going to try to use the checklist as little as possible because I just kind of commit these to knowing what I'm supposed to do with them. Set our GPS up. $16,000. $110. Nav mode, FLC is on, VNav on. Strobe lights. Extra full rich. Power full forward. Go ahead, turn the boost on. Pull the power back. Nope, bump it a quarter forward. Quarter inch. Okay. Prop area is clear. Clear! Alright, engine is started. Oil pressure's in the green, temperature's coming up. 22 Celsius on the ground. Let's go ahead and lean the mixture. Because we're actually going to have to taxi down the runway. Let's keep that coming up, and it looks like it peaked right there, about 1240 something. Nope, that's too far. Alright, there we go. Alternator switches on. Nav lights. Avionics. Pull back to 1000 RPM. Alright, those are coming up. Let's go ahead, release the park and brake. Alright, brakes work. Really turn that way. Actually, we do have room. Perfect.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop.
We gotta turn right here. Taxi all the way down. And we actually could take off with a tailwind, but we're just gonna taxi down for just for good measure. Power out. We're rolling at 40 knots. Kind of a high-speed taxi. Let's loop around here. And let's just get lined up. Set the parking brake. This will be a quick run up. Alright, landing lights. We probably should turn those on when we taxi out onto the runway. Flaps half, mixture full rich. Alright, those are good there. Set the trim wheel. Flight controls. Rudder's good. Elevator is good. Ailerons are good. Now, in the real world, we would not do this on the runway. We would have stopped at the taxi out point and run up there. Good to go back in the cockpit. Alright, mixture boost. Let's go ahead and switch to fuel tank. (1700 RPM). We bumped that a little bit high. That'll work. Alright, let's check our voltage. Ice light, pitot heat on. Voltage is good. Amperage is good. You can turn the ice light off, turn the pitot heat off. Engine instruments are looking good. Let's go ahead and just do a mag check real quick. 17, 18, go to the right. Good. Back to both. Out of the left. That's good. Back to both. And yeah, everything still looks good. We'll go back to power idle.
Engaging autopilot.
Alright, that works properly. Let's just go ahead, release the parking brake, and I think we are ready to go. I'm gonna go full power. Full power set. Engine instruments are looking good. Airspeed has come alive. We're gonna rotate at 77. We're gonna climb out the 80s, and then at 110. Alright, 77. We can rotate. We're up. Brakes. Flaps up. Got positive rate. Doing good. $1,700. We will go ahead and. I love that view. 1,700. We can engage the autopilot and turn. Let's go ahead and start the turn now.
Engaging autopilot.
Autopilot's on. We'll turn, intercept the course. We're gonna clear that terrain with our climb rate. Checklist. Flaps are confirmed up. Climb power is set. Mixture stays bottom of the arc there. We can go ahead and turn the landing lights off. Real quick, I'm just gonna take a quick look outside, back from here. This is the town of Eagle. And there's the airport. But then if you look back over here, that's Eagle Village, which is another place. If we had taken off going to the east, we'd actually fly over it as we turn back around. And then, like, that's the border Canada. It is right there. Like, all of this back here is Canada. I'm just where the stuff stops. Back into the cockpit. We're gonna do the full power Richard Peak climb. So we're only going to 16,000. It'd be pretty quick. I just love the views. This is definitely one of the prettier parts of the state. Of course, you get to see the Yukon River kind of carving its way through the mountains and the hills. Now, where we're going today on our route, so this is Eagle, and the town of Eagle is like right here, and then Eagle Village is sitting back here, and Canada is basically like right here. It's close. That's how close you are to the border. Dawson down here was the famous town during the gold mine, or the gold rush in the Klondike. Anyway, so we're basically following more or less the Yukon River. Which comes up this way. I don't know what that there is. I'll look it up. But this is the town of Central, Circle Hot Springs over here. These airports. And as the Yukon River makes its way up, and then there's the town of Circle, or Circle City. And it was called as such is because people believed when they found it that it was the site of basically where the Arctic Circle ran through. And they didn't realize that they were about 50 miles south of it until many years later when they found out that it actually ran right here, right up through Fort Yukon. So short flight, yeah, Fairbanks is out over that way. So this is a very remote part of the state. We're going to be flying over L20. That's the Coal Creek. Coal Creek Airport. It's not a paved strip. Grass, maybe. Gravel, probably grass. And then of course there's Central and Circle Hot Springs out the way, and then Circle City is a step further back here. Looks like the weather changed a little bit. Got a notice to go ahead and turn the pitot heat on. Only 3 Celsius here at 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and lean the mixture out a little bit. Good there. Kind of clouded over. One thing we didn't do was get the weather at Eagle. But they've been having some problems with it. We only got part of it. The altimeter and the wind. That was it. Or no! No, that's the time. Only thing was the altimeter. Whole bunch of sensors are down. Oh. And, I mean, that happens. Since it's a short flight, I wonder if we can actually pick the weather up in Circle. Not yet. Dawson. Boundary. Chicken. Chicken Airport. It's a funny name. Very warm, pleasant weather throughout most of the interior of the state today. Southwest Alaska also has quite good weather today for the most part. Not very good up around Nome or Kotzebue. Kind of the north slope isn't looking too good in terms of weather, but most of the interior has been having pretty good weather today. Even south central Alaska's been having pretty decent weather as well. Alright. 13,000 feet coming up. We're getting close to our cruise altitude, and the wind is kind of strong. And it's saying about 37 minutes, 36 minutes. It's a far cry from the 28, and I think that's because the wind's aloft. Alright, there's a cruise altitude, 16,000 feet. We're going to speed up here pretty quick. This is showing 35. It's going to be... I mean, it probably took 10 minutes to climb. So I imagine once we get up to speed, it'll drop to about 20 or so. Alright. We're going to do a Richard Peak. Cruise procedure. Let's pull back. Trying to get. Stay there. Stop the manifold pressure jumping around too much. Oh, yeah. Let's look around outside. So here's the mountains, the hills, the Yukon River. It looks like it gets a little snowy, even though it's summertime and it's 20 degrees Celsius on the ground. You can see then the hills kind of taper out a bit. Very pretty views though, especially back this way. This part of the state reminds me a lot of the Klondike, kind of how the area around Dawson over in the Yukon Territory looks. You know, maybe we'll do some flights in Canada, in the Yukon Territory. There's Old Crow, way up north. And then you've got, of course, Dawson, and then you have Carmack's, White Horse, of course, Haines Junction, a couple other airports in the area. There's some cool stuff to see. Alright. Let's go ahead, lean the mixture down. We're going to set it right about 20 gallons per hour. peak's right about there. So we'll set that. Our power set, yeah, 20 knot direct headwind up here at 16,000 feet. Yeah, so about 23 minutes. This means we actually won't be up here at cruise long. We could probably stay at 14,000 feet. Would have saved a little bit of time. If we did, the flight planner was saying we would have saved a minute. 12,000 feet. We would have saved another minute. 10,000, we would have saved another minute. Yeah, okay, so about a minute for every 2,000 feet. Just because of the intensity of the wind. Not a big deal. And a shorter climb, so. Not a big deal. We're getting decent performance up here. Alright, the mixture is set. Let's go ahead and switch fuel tanks. We can turn the boost pump off. Pitot heat stays on. Don't think we'll need any de-icing. Don't think we're going to be flying up through much of any of that. Zoom out on the map a little bit. Let's stay in there. So up Circle, that's Coal Creek, and then out in the way you'll see Central and Circle Hot Springs.
Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you are? We always say
Grab a look outside here. Now that's pretty. You go outside the cockpit and you kind of look back this way. Clouds are starting to come over a bit, but yeah, you can just see all the hills. This is really pretty. I like this a lot. Yukon River. As it starts transitioning into the flats. But you still have the hills here, but you can also see some of these little islands where in the middle of the river starts widening. It gets, you know, kind of narrow back through that way. Well, it's still a fairly large river, but then this is where it kind of just opens up and really gets wide, and you start getting all the Oxbow lakes. Look out here, still a few hills. I think by the time we make it into Circle, and when I say that I mean the Circle Airport, it has pretty much totally flattened out. But where we're at right now, you still get a little bit of elevation variation. That's a tongue twister. Elevation variation. You still get a little bit of hills. A simpler way to say it. Coal Creek Airport looks like it's just up ahead. In fact, maybe we can find it. I think it may be a little bit too forward of us. Yeah, I think it's kind of in our blind spot at the moment. It will probably come into view here in a moment. In fact, if we look outside the aircraft, is that it right there? I don't think that. Because the airport sits on a really narrow creek. I mean, hence the name Coal Creek, but it's very narrow. Now back into the cockpit. It's not until... Oh no, you know what? It's a little further up. Yeah, because it's beyond these islands and stuff right here. So it's over here, I think. And of course, that's going to make it a little tougher to see. But anyway. Alright, let's see if there's weather to be grabbed at Circle. So we're getting pretty close. Right about halfway, back 47 miles and 51, so out of a 98-mile flight, pretty much. Coal Creek doesn't have weather. None of these have weather. The nearest weather looks like it is... Now, from where we're at right now, probably... maybe Delta Junction? And actually, I think it's Fort Yukon. It has the best. It's the closest. Yeah, this is kind of tricky. So we'll probably have to pull the altimeter from Fort Yukon. And Circles is not reporting. That's the thing, is a lot of these airports out in the bush don't have weather stations. This is kind of tough. What do you do if you don't get a weather report? And you have to know that. Just try to get a visual observation of the field, and then the pressure, you can usually draw a line and go in the middle of the two, but that's not always the case. They may have procedures for when that happens. Alright, let's take a look here. This right here is Coal Creek. That's cool. Beautiful view of the Yukon. Still haven't really found the airport though. I think it's... back here. But it's kind of tough to tell. Then it should be right about off our left wing. Somewhere in here. I don't think we're getting enough of the terrain render. Oh, but look at that view though. The sun's shining and kind of lighting up the water of the Yukon. That's pretty. Alright. You know, since we don't have the weather, it's kind of tough to choose which runway. Two options. And they don't have any instrument approaches, so we can program a visual approach. Or we can just descend over the airport and, basically... yeah. That's what we'll do. We'll go 1,000 feet above the airport elevation. And if we couldn't make it into Circle, the option would be to go to Central, which is only 23 miles away. That's right out over here. Or Chalkyitsik, which is way up to the north, or Fort Yukon, which is also up to the north. And then, yeah, otherwise, all the airports are about 100 miles away, so about as long as we flew. It actually would suggest going to Eagle as an option, if none of the other airports are available. So with about 10 minutes to go, we're going to go ahead and pull the power back. And we're going to set a vertical speed. Actually, tell you what, let's descend. The airport elevation is what? 610, so we're going to set this to 1600. Which is that? Okay. Gonna go ahead and pull the power back. Start a descent checklist. So we'll just keep the mixture within the green. Fall rich, it's at the bottom of the green, so we'll just leave the mixture fall rich. Don't need to switch tanks right at the moment. Just need to watch our cylinder temps. Trying to find the airport. I don't see it up here. I think it's just beyond kind of where these start to flatten out. Nope. I think I see it actually. I think it's over here. Because I see a little town on the river. That's gotta be it. It has to be. Can't see it here, but well, you can. Right about there. Pretty view. Alright, back into the cockpit. Yep, we're hand flying this sucker today. It's pretty cool to fly into here and stuff like that in these small towns in the summer when the weather's good and everything. But I'm actually really forward to looking into some of these places and trying to fly in the winter time. Because it's going to be some extreme weather. It's going to be gorgeous with everything covered in snow. I think it's going to be really impressive here. As we look back out that way, it starts to kind of flatten out ahead of the wing out further on. You can kind of see like out here and stuff like that. That's in the area where like Central and Circle Hot Springs and stuff are. Like those towns, I believe, I don't know if we're going to be able to see them. Yeah, maybe not. Alright, let's see. We're above freezing. Anti-ice is not needed. Oh, well, this says windsock may be unreliable. Well, that's not... that's not very reassuring. Alright, let's get zoomed in. And yeah, you can tell it kind of starts to flatten out here. 5.5 minutes to go. This is 13 miles, about. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look here. Yeah, you can see the last bit of the hills. The entire rest of the way, the river's pretty much flat. It's really tough to see right on my screen. I don't know how it will render in the video, but I can just barely see the beginning peaks of the Brooks Range. Kind of over here. The way the river goes, it runs up and up and up, and kind of there about is probably the town of Fort Yukon, which you've flown into and out of a few times. And you can kind of see there'd be a couple other rivers out here. There's the Porcupine River, which actually runs from that Canadian town I mentioned, Old Crow, which runs through there, and then through further northeast Alaska, kind of south of Arctic Village, and then it enters the Yukon River right at Fort Yukon. And then there's another river where that town of Chalkidzik sits. And it's about straight, if you go straight north from here, or from Circle, it's pretty much where that would be. Well, let's take a look. Cylinder head temps are okay. We're leaving just a little bit of power in. Keep the engine running. And I don't mean keep it running as in it would stop otherwise, but I mean just to keep it moving and burning fuel and keeping the temperatures in an appropriate range. Alright, let's shallow our descent. Three minutes to go, so let's set 700 feet per minute. I think would be totally good. Now, and it is quite brazy over here as I'm looking at this. Let's shallow the rate a little bit more.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
I'm looking at it, it's kind of right around. Not right there, I don't think. Maybe. Yeah, you can kind of see this area though, all the flats. And it gets hilly back that way, of course, and then hilly over there. It's a little flatter out that way. That's out towards Central. And then, of course, the Yukon River flats. The river flats, effectively, I mean, they basically start about here. We're kind of right at the edge of those hills. Let's go back in the cockpit. Let's do some final items. We're going to bump the power forward because we're actually about to level off here. By the 4-mile map, we're only about 3.5 miles from the airport. Yeah, we want to keep the power in right about there. Let's just check a couple things. The mixture is full rich. Boost pump, we'll turn that on. Landing lights come on. We can turn the pitot heat off. 22 Celsius here. It's probably hotter on the ground.
Like an ocean in my head.
I don't think there are as many trees as this is showing. Well, I see the town. Well, let's get ready to disconnect and hand fly. Take some power out here. And what we'll do is just try to get a glimpse of wind. Let's go slow down to half flaps. Or let's slow down and add half flaps. Yeah, so there's the town. And I'm cheating a little bit looking for the wind cone. Oh gosh. Okay. It doesn't matter because it's a direct crosswind, and that is a stiff crosswind. That's gonna be fun. Huh. Of course. Yeah, look at the town right there. That's kind of cool. And the highway ends here. The highway actually will run back through out toward Circle and then ultimately all the way back to Fairbanks. Alright, we are going to set the heading. We'll come around in on 1.5. We're just going to keep the power in like this here. Once we get straightened out, we'll kind of square up our turn. At 21 Celsius here. This is gonna be tricky. Alright, let's disconnect the autopilot. Alright, it's disconnected. We're hand flying. We're gonna let it come down just a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and turn base. Making sure we don't get too steep of a descent rate. We want to keep it right about where we're at. We can actually, with a crosswind like that, I think we're actually gonna go half flaps until short final. And we gotta turn this tight. Steep, that's about 35 degrees of bank. Yeah, we blew right through it. The wind is pushing us. And we don't want to get tight like that. That's a dangerous. When you start turning trying to tighten it like that, that's a dangerous move. Alright, let's take the power out. This is gonna be wicked. All flaps. Final items. Mixture full, rich, landing lights on, flaps are down, boost pump is on. We are... This may take more than one try.
500.
Let's add a little bit of power. This is tough. We can't land here. We may go to Central. Or Circle Hot Springs. We don't have a lot of runway to work with, too. I think we can make it. Whoa. Nope, we're floating. Alright, let's get down. Get down. Alright, we're on the ground. Nice. Alright, flaps up. Alright, we're just gonna roll to the end where we have a wider room to turn around. We'll taxi back. That actually was a lot better of a landing than I thought it would be. Well, they actually don't give us much room for a turnaround right here. Do we have to go through the grass? Yeah, a little bit. I would have thought they'd have a turnaround. Gravel dirt. Well, it's fine. Alright. Easy on the power. There's a couple other things we could do, kind of lean the mixture a little bit. Alright, our turn's gonna be right up here. This almost seems like one of the places I think I'd rather have a float plane and just land it on the river. Yeah, look at that. I mean, even the vehicles are driving in the grass. Even the fuel boxes are in the grass and then right up against the trees. I don't think that's right. Wow. I mean, we're out like in the middle of nowhere. Alright. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake and get this thing shut down. Fuel pump off. Mixture is leaned out. Yeah, we'll just put it full rich for the moment here. Didn't have to switch tanks back. That's good. All our lights can come off. And all that's left after that is to just get the airplane shut down, which is as simple as this. Power's idle, fuel pump is off, idle cut off on the mixture, engine will stop. It's good. See a couple cars going on the road there. And avionics off. Alternator switches off. Mags. And the battery switches. Yeah, I really don't have much of a view right here. Not even sure which direction the ramp. So this is north. So this is actually closer to the river. Oh, and there's the road that goes through the ramp. If you got in a car and drove down there, you could be right there. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, got a cool view on the final approach, I guess. Welcome to Circle City, Alaska, folks. As always, thanks for flying with me, and hope to have you aboard on the next one. And until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see ya.